morning, everyone, and happy Friday. So, we have a few things to get to today. We have some of our typical announcements. I brought a bar chair up here because I'm lazy, and I'm going to do a presentation to share with you the results of our resident survey and just kind of give you some insight on how we operate and what some of those things mean. But first, I would like to share with you our MVP of the month of March. So for anyone new to Fox Run, we take nomination forms from anyone. They can be coworkers, they can be other departments, senior management, whoever it may be, to recognize a very strong player, right? Our MVP, the most valuable person, most valuable player, whatever you want to call it. I know we give stars to people for going above and beyond, but the MVP is another level. So we like to find that person who, and I always say this, everyone in Fox Run, they're all great employees, they do a great job, but it's nice to recognize that person who really stands out. So with that, I would like to ask someone from therapy to come up to the front counter. Jessica? I always love this part because I think everyone squirms when they have to come up here, so she's going to keep her acceptance speech to 5 minutes. So I'd like to read the nomination form first, and this is from our therapy supervisor, Tracy, who I think everyone knows. And it says, Jessica has worked tirelessly and consistently to grow and enhance Fox Run's outpatient therapy program. She establishes excellent relationships with all of her patients. So many patients will, on their own, express their gratitude and appreciation of Jessica. Community members have said, oh, I just love that Jessica. She's good, she takes her time with me, with exercises, she really cares about me. I just love coming to therapy and I don't want to stop. So we find that a lot, folks, they use our therapy services and they don't want to stop because it's kind of a social area too, and it's just such a fun group, and I think Jessica epitomizes that. So I'm just jumping in here. So Jessica works extra hours when needed. If her caseload increases and residents are in need of care, she works extra if they need extra care. Jessica is always professional in her actions. She displays a can-do attitude and places residents' needs first. She's compassionate, kind, and patient. Furthermore, Jessica is a skilled clinician and develops high-quality, individualized physical therapy, ultimately helping all of her patients improve their quality of life. So I'd like to add that during COVID, we had a satellite clinic, and it was a therapy clinic. We used our fitness center. And Jessica ultimately became the point person for that. And it was really nice for us, when we were kind of separated by COVID, to see her in action and see her work with our community members. And when we closed that clinic, I can tell you everyone was very disappointed. Not just because it was a shorter walk, but because Jessica was a little further away individually. So I actually have a note here from a family, if you don't mind, I'm gonna read that. Dear Tracy, Bill and I have been most fortunate to become part of Fox Run community. Everyone's staff and residents have been most helpful and welcoming. Our experience with your physical therapy program has been exemplary. We were both assigned to Jessica Faulkner, PT. Jessica is most professional. She has provided optimal care using the best practices of one-on-one therapy. She combines exercise, movement, heat, massage, and strengthening and mobility, and to move more safely. Her care is individualized, her care is most effective. Jessica listens, she assesses, and she has individualized care, and has an individualized care plan. She's always on time and spends quality time with all of her patients. Her care is personalized to each patient. For those reasons, we would like to nominate, so this is another nomination, this is from a community member, we'd like to nominate Jessica Faulkner for outstanding service at Fox Run. Jessica Faulkner and the entire PT and OT department are the best of the best. Kindest regards, Lynn and Bill Huss. So thank you for that. We truly have a gem here, and Jessica's very special, and here is your form and your gift cards. And would you like to say anything to the community? Okay, good.
I'd like to say thank you.
You gotta get really close.
No. I'd like to say thank you to Tracy and to Lynn Hess for making the recommendation for me. And also being a physical therapist here, I've had the opportunity to work with quite a few of you. And I mean, it's always great. You guys become like family. I get to hear your stories and your history and meet a lot of your family. So you guys make it easy coming to work. So appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Okay, so now to some announcements. Wendy Backman. So Wendy is the executive director of UCHS and Senior Wishes, and Wendy might like to just, I guess, reintroduce herself, because I don't know if everyone knows you, and have an announcement.
Thank you, Bill. Hi, everybody. Good morning. I'm Wendy with the United Church Home Society. I'm the executive director. It's been a while since I've talked with you. One of the programs that we run is called Senior Wishes. And Ruth, where are you? Ruth is on my wish granting committee and has been for several years. So she helps us grant wishes in the community, and we are about to grant our 500th wish next month. So we've been around for 12 years granting wishes. Ruth's helped us out a lot. Just to give you a little information, aside from wish granting in the community, we have a holiday giving program. This year we adopted 2 nursing homes and then also delivered gifts into the community to isolated seniors. So we delivered over 300 gifts this Christmas. We also have a Veterans Hero Box program where we recognize veterans in the community in our 5-county area. And this year we were able to deliver hero boxes to 180 veterans. So that was a record. And we have a brand new program we started last month called Lift a Vet. We were getting a lot of requests for lift chairs for veterans. The VA does not provide those, and they're life-changing for people. And so we have a new program now where we're going out and we're providing lift chairs for veterans. So there's a lot going on. And all that to say, we have a fundraiser every year. And those of you that have been here a while know that Sip Suds and Sweets is held here in your home, all over this general area, and we've been so grateful to be able to have it here since 2014, first time. But obviously because of construction, we're moving off site, and so we're going to be at Clover Bank. So I just wanted to let you know what the information is in case you are interested in still attending. The event is Thursday, April 16th. There's a poster up across from the exercise room, and with all the information. It's 5:30 to 8:30 at Clover Bank Country Club. We are going to provide transportation here. Foxtron's going to provide transportation if there's at least 11 people that sign up. So I'm going to put a sign-up sheet in your book. You don't have to buy a ticket until you know whether or not there's going to be transportation, okay? So some people will drive separately, which is totally fine. So if you still want to go and there's not 11 people, maybe you can find somebody that is driving separately that can still take you. But you can wait to get your ticket until you know. And tickets will be sold at the front desk, okay? The other thing is the basket raffle. Everybody's been asking about that. We are still going to have the basket raffle. It's going to be a little bit shorter. It's going to be 2 weeks instead of 3. It's going to be in the same location that it's been in the past, so down the hallway by the mailboxes. We'll probably try to keep it to that hallway so it's kind of out of the way. But generally, there's usually about 80 baskets, so you can all participate in that. We will do the drawing the night of the event, and we'll let you know if you won, so you don't have to be present to win. Just want to mention 2 other things real quickly. We have a fantastic raffle for any Bills fans. So I'm going to have, these posters are hanging. There's a QR code, or you can come to our office and buy tickets, but let your family members know. This is club seats for a December game. Includes parking in the Gorilla lot, which is right across from where the stadium will be. So it includes your parking, your tailgating, $100 gift card, and club seats, so in December you can stay warm watching a game.
Oh, wow.
So that is a very high value new stadium. Tickets are 1 for $10, 3 for $25, so that poster's there. And then the other raffle is our Sweet Destinations raffle. It's for a $500 American Express card. So you're able to participate in the raffles even if you're not at the event. Winner is chosen at the event. We'll let you know if you're not there. Any questions? Okay, thank you. Thanks.
Thank you, Wendy. And truly, this event is amazing. Sip Suds and Sweets. We've had it here. There's vendors, whether there's beer, wine, there's sweets as well. And we're definitely going to miss it. I've attended every year, and it's a really nice thing, so I encourage you all to go. And then, again, such a great program, Senior Wishes, so thank you, Wendy. Okay, we have other announcements. I think, Liesl?
Thank you. Hello, everybody. So the big news for this week, of course, we found out that confirmed they're going to be closing the cut-through, the pass-through by the fitness center on April 1st is when we're looking at that. So wanted to let you know ahead of time so we can kind of begin to prepare for that. Find some new ways to walk around. So if you have any questions about that, let me know. Come and chat with me. I'm happy to listen. I also am going to be, I know we're taking a look at one survey today. I have just a little brief one for you, just for some specific things to my position here. We wanted to do a Quilt 101 class. I know there was a lot of interest in that. It'll kind of show you how to download the app, learn how to use it, receive notifications. There's some new capabilities in Quilt that we can show you, and how to manage some of those glitches, some of the common glitches that we see with the app, because it's, no app is perfect. So that's on here. And then if you wanted to provide an email, you'll get emails a little more frequently from me with updates. We also have a little spot for ask if you have a specific question about construction, and if you'd like to do a one-on-one meeting with me. And that can be in the bistro, that can be in the conference room, or I can come to you, wherever you would be most comfortable having that conversation. So these will be available. We can pick one up today. They'll also be at reception. You can grab one from there as well. So anyone that would like one.
Where do they leave them?
Oh, and you'll bring them back to reception on March 20th. That is the deadline that I put on the survey, but you can fill them out anytime and give that back to me. Yes, Jim?
What's the date? What's the date?
The date, which meeting?
For the quilt.
Oh, so this survey is to determine the date for the quilt classes. So when that'll start, when we'll host them, what that'll look like. So I wanted to get some feedback from y'all first before we put it on the calendar.
Do you know how long the cut-through is going to be closed out, roughly?
So Bill asked if we have an idea how long the cut-through will be closed. So because the start process for the fitness center was pushed back a little bit, we are looking at February-ish of next year. Yes. So it's going to be a little bit of a time here, and that is good to prepare. Thank you for that question.
I will be losing a lot of weight.
And the only other thing I wanted to mention, we did have the first class or get together of the Coping with Change group yesterday, and that was great. The next one is going to be on March 19th at 1 p.m. in the Creative Arts Room, and I will send out a reminder for that. So it was really lovely. Come on down. You can talk about any change that's happening in your life. If you feel that you're handling things particularly well, you can also come and chat about what that looks like for you, so we can all learn from each other. All right. Thank you so much.
Good morning, everybody. I put out a memo this week on behalf of the salon, Sherry Berry. She's really excited that she's hired an esthetician for the salon. So for anyone who doesn't know what an esthetician is, it's somebody who's licensed and is able to do facials and facial waxing. So Erica is going to be joining the salon, and she is going to start offering services next week, starting March 12th. So she's going to be in there not during normal salon hours, because the room will need to have dim lighting. She's going to bring her massage table in, but we're really excited to kind of start some of these extra services before our new salon opens. Sherry is also bringing back a per diem stylist named Caitlin. If anyone remembers Caitlin, she was here before the pandemic and left kind of during the pandemic, but she's going to be coming back to add some more hours there. And Caitlin is actually a Reiki practitioner, which I'm not very familiar with Reiki, but it is energy healing, so that's something that's going to be offered. I asked Sherry if Erica and Caitlin could come to a coffee hour, so they are going to come to coffee hour on Friday, May 5th. So they'll be here to kind of talk more about those services. And in the memo that I put out, you get $5 off your first facial service if you book, if you book in the month of March. talking about Easter, it's right around the corner. Saturday, March 28th is going to be our annual Easter egg hunt. So that's going to be held in our bistro. Normally we're in our Maloney Center, but we'll have eggs all throughout the campus. So that starts at 10:30 and goes through until 12. So tell your family, everyone's welcome. It's always a really fun event. Even if you don't have family coming, I urge you to come down. It's really fun to see the kids hunt eggs. And I did want to mention too, the bistro will be closed that day for breakfast and for lunch, just so you're prepared. But we will have ice cream sundaes, so ice cream sundaes for breakfast, or for brunch, I guess. I wanted to mention for dining, this was in the newsletter, but the Easter brunch this year is going to be held on Easter, April 5th, I'm sorry. That's going to be 11 to 1:30, and you can start making your reservations starting March 16th, right with Debbie at the hostess stand, or you may call. So our reservations are really encouraged, and you are welcome to bring guests to that. We will be having Catholic Easter Mass right on Easter at 10 a.m. over in the Assisted Living Lounge. Anyone is welcome to attend that, as well as your family, so that'll be a nice thing to offer, to have Mass followed by the brunch if you're going to that. Is there any questions for me this morning? Okay, do we have any resident announcements? Okay, well then I will pass it off to Bill to review the survey with you.
Well, I think it's great that Sherry is going to add the esthetician service and possibly the Reiki. And that's one of those things that we thought would be great once we have a spa in the new space, but why not bring it on sooner so you can enjoy it sooner? So with that theme, being able to serve you a little better, Allison and I got together, and before we get to the survey, and we thought, this whole process is evolving for us. Construction, there's changes every day, and we're trying to think how best to communicate. And with that was bringing Lisa on board, which has just been a home run for us. But we want to be able to do more, and how can we better serve your needs? You just think of, we just did a tour with our banker, and I was explaining how Fox Run started out really small. And now we've grown up, and we still do things very small. And so we have one person doing a lot of stuff. And it doesn't really benefit all of you. So we've added a communications person. Now we want to add another position to Fox Run, which we think will be helpful for a lot of reasons. And we're kind of inventing this position as we go, so we can add a lot of things to their plate, and we want your input as well. But we're going to hire a concierge. So we've seen this at other communities, and the concierge will be someone that you have access to. It's going to start out part-time, but I see it growing over time. And they're going to be able to do things like help you with sign-ups, help with your packages when they come in the door, be a point of contact for a lot of questions not related to construction, your Instacart deliveries, driver sign-up. I know right now where all of this is going through reception. It's a lot. And with Pamela leaving, there's going to be some changes at reception. And again, that's that we started small where Pamela did everything. We want to take those duties away because it's hard to give you the time you need and deserve while you're answering the phone. And again, this will help with part of our being able to offer better service. And we're doing this right away because you're living in construction, you have a lot of questions, and they might not be related to the process. So we're very excited to bring on a concierge. Again, other communities have this, and it's you walk in the door and this person greets you, similar to a nice hotel, and wants to know how they can help you, and that's our goal. So any questions on the concierge?
When does the person begin?
So Sue's question is, when does the person begin? We don't know yet because we're just now putting an ad out in the paper, or lack of a better term, to find the right person. And what we're looking at right now is probably around 10 to 2 would be the hours. Again, we're making this up as we go along. I can see as the community grows, we may expand that, but we want to give you that service now so that we can help your daily lives as you live through construction.
5 days a week?
Yes. That's the plan, 5 days a week. Okay, so now let's talk about the resident survey. So each year we do the annual survey, and the survey's kind of been the same. I think we're going to change it. I've already taken time away from Liesl to start looking at, see how we can make it better. But it gives us input on what you're thinking, how you're feeling, and there's a lot of, and I'll go through the slides, and I'm gonna go through line by line. I'm gonna give you comments, real comments on what folks are saying, good and bad. And I can tell you overall, the survey results were good. You look at 0 to 5, or 1 to 5, and 5 is the best you can be, and our results, as I said in our newsletter, were right around between 4 and 5, which is good. It means we're accomplishing our goals. But when we look at the survey, and I handed this out to our leadership team on Thursday, we look at all of the results. So we find those 1s and 2s. Now, someone in this room may give a 5 for something, and the person sitting next to you gave a 2. We want to find out why it's a 2, and we want to find out what we can do better. You don't know until you go through a process like this. Sometimes the results hurt a little bit, and it's not what we want to hear. We want to hear we're the best ever, but we're not perfect, and we use this to enhance what our plans are in the future. So for example, I was looking at prior year surveys, and I went back to 2014, but most recently, probably in the last 5 years, I'm just looking at what do you want to see in the next 2 to 5 years? A larger fitness center. Well, we're going to do that with construction. We want more patio homes, a larger pub, open more days. We want designated craft space, not just a multi-purpose room. We want to give Bill a big increase in his pay. We want a larger dining room. All of these are going to be accomplished except for the pay part, unfortunately. But this just goes to show you that we do listen, and we can't accomplish everything either. So as I read through some of the survey comments, there were comments that administration listens to us, but they really don't because they didn't change something. We can't say yes to everything. We have to be prudent and practical and do what's best for the entire community, and the price of things are a factor too, because ultimately you're paying for all of the changes. So as I start the survey, okay, well, you can't probably see this at all, it's so far away, but I'll read it to you. So the survey, as I said, provides administration with important feedback. It gives us a score, kind of a report card. It helps identify trends and hot topics. And again, the scores mean something. If we see a dip, a significant dip, we address it. I've highlighted a few that we've seen a dip, and they're construction related, and I've asked our team to start thinking about how we can improve. But the comments are really important to me because that's where I think you really get a sense of what people are feeling. So unfortunately this year we've only gotten 72 responses. Last year, I know the newsletter said 100. We got some late too. There was 113 last year. Years before we had 120, 130. Only 72 this year, and I'm not sure exactly why. I got some feedback from a community member that said, it's the same thing every year and it's a little complicated, let's simplify it. So again, Liesl's gonna look at this and simplify it for next year. So we had 113 last year, 72 this year. Okay, grades and scores. Grades are subjective. What do I mean by that? The score means something different to different people. So you can say, I loved my meal today, I'm giving it a 5. And then a brand new person moves into Foxrun and they say, I loved my meal, I'm giving it a 4, because nobody gets 5s. That does impact the score, so we're conscious of how subjective it can be. And it's also subjective to how you're feeling. So one of the grades where we saw a dip was snow removal. And this survey was given after probably one of the worst winter stretches we've had since I've been at Foxrun. Now we've had 7 feet of snow where I see Sue shaking her head, but it is true for a different reason, so allow me to explain. We've had 7 feet of snow where when the snow was over, the sky was blue, we could move all the cars, plow a path through to clean it up, and then everyone's whole again, everything looks nice. The snow this year lasted from the end of December through the end of January, and it was constant. And I know because I did a day shoveling, I was helping out maintenance, and I spent the morning shoveling the walk over by the alternate south entrance. And then I went and helped Josh. 2 hours later, it didn't even look like I did anything at all. So to move cars and to brush off your cars was very difficult, which is why we changed the rules for the valet service, because each car took about 13 minutes because I timed it. And you just run out of time, and then the snow falls again. It was so constant, and then it froze because we had 0 and below 0 temperatures. So it was a difficult winter, and we definitely experienced that because the survey came out right after it. We also look for trends over a 5-year period, and these trends are reported to the board of directors. They see how we're doing, and it's a measuring stick for me personally as well. But the comments are to me the most important thing. It gives us context to your scores. So when I say some are 4, some are 5, when you give a comment with it, it gives all of us a sense of what you're thinking that day. And it allows us to identify the hot button issues. And of course, some of the comments aren't always easy to understand because you read them and you don't know the context behind it, which is why don't be afraid to put your name on a survey. Nobody's gonna get in trouble, nobody's gonna get scolded. We work for you. So if you put your name on it, if Mr. Preble puts his name on something, he gives a score, it gives me the opportunity to go back to him and say, what did you mean by this? And I'll get to it later, but there's a couple individual surveys that I'm trying to meet with the folks. I've met with a couple already privately, just to talk through what their concerns were, and I have a couple more to meet with, which I'm going to cover later. Okay, that's why I said signing can be helpful. Okay, so under administrative services, you may not be able to see this from back there, but again, the red dot doesn't work with a TV screen. So we look at the trends, and these are all really good scores. So you think 4.82 is great, wait, 4.54, that's not. It actually is very good if you think about what the answers mean. This is, I'm extremely satisfied to very satisfied. So as we look at all these pieces, trends, so emergency event response, when we first put this one out, we were really high in the 4 range. We dipped down to mid-4s. This is still a great score, but it prompts me to say, what was there a change? What happened? But again, administrative services was very good. There's a lower set of scores from the last year, but again, we tie this to you're living in a construction zone, so you may feel a little differently. So some of the comments. Some administrators are very responsive while others are not. I'd love to know who the others are not, because you don't know what you don't know, and it gives us an opportunity to talk to those folks. And if I'm that person, let me know, because I like to be more responsive. It's been very busy. I've been in my office more often. The goal is with these added positions, now I can be out more and then try to be a little more responsive. A comment, all of our concerns were addressed and remedied. The recent snow is very challenging, and most staff are wonderful. Most staff are wonderful. Again, I would love to know who's not. Communication. Again, our scores, we had some dips, but overall very good. I don't think anyone's ever really liked the in-house TV. Technology seems to be hovering in a good area. The app does have its flaws. The app is only as good as how you use it. So we took that to heart, and we looked at where we're missing things, where the errors are, and want to work very hard to correct those errors. Some of the comments, I've had trouble getting the morning meeting on channel 1390, something we need to work on. Killian is awesome. Tired of seeing this one, gonna be honest. It's every survey. Quilt needs to be updated every day. Menu info is not accurate. So this is something that Lisa's gonna take to heart, because the menu's not being updated as timely as it could. I can't give you the excuse that they're busy. You know, the truth is, this is important because all of you use it. I think of folks who, they don't want to come all the way down to look at the displays there. They want to see what it is first. And waiting on the aerial view of construction work. This is interesting because when Lehigh came in, they promised some videos from a drone. That person retired. But Lisa shared this sentiment with Lehigh, and they do have a new person that is a drone pilot. So we're going to get that back up and running, and we're going to get some videos. See, and this goes to tell you that when we're making changes as we read these real time. Reception desk. Quality, again, great scores. Reception always has had great scores. Some of the comments, Pamela is the best. Sorry, everyone. She's not here anymore, but she really was the best. Depends on who's attending. Some are good, others are a frown face. So again, great feedback, because we're not at the desk every time. We don't see the reactions that you get. So this is important so that we can go back. Melissa takes this to heart, and she's working with her team to find out maybe who can be a little friendlier, or did they have a bad day? Is there a reason for this? So these are good. Again, great feedback. My debit card got stuck in the new ATM. I was unable to get this solved. So I left this one up here because we have nothing to do with the ATM machine. That belongs to Great Erie Federal Credit Union. We can't touch it, so if you have a problem with it, please don't think it's Fox Run. The best we can do is direct you to the credit union, because if I broke into that, I would get arrested and go to jail. What? Pamela is tops, as are our part-time help. Great comment. Okay, resident services. Activities had a little bit of a dip, the variety and quality, and this is, I believe, directly correlated to construction and our availability to have space. I think our team has to be a little more creative now with not having a Maloney Center, and the Creative Arts Room is going to be shut down at some point, but this is something that we noticed, and Allison and her team are going to work on to see if we can get that score up. So looking at some of the comments, not much I'm interested in. Symphony is good. Many people love the activities. So this is a person who really doesn't participate a lot. So we need to find something to get them engaged. And we'd love to know, again, some names are on here, so we'd love to get some of those ideas. Quilt needs to be more dynamic. I haven't done a lot, only vaccines and wellness, but Lori is a love. Okay, Lori is part of resident services, and she's another person that people really appreciate. Errors on monthly calendars. So this is something that's happened in quilts. And it does make a difference. So we're gonna work to get those errors. And again, this is an answer that is not indicative of what the calendars look like. But maybe that day that they got the survey, there was an error. So then I can see it myself. I'm annoyed with it, so I'm gonna put it on the survey. But again, I'm not making an excuse. We're gonna take it to heart and improve. Transportation, I think the scores actually went up in transportation across the board. Security PERS response, again, very strong. Anyone who's pressed their PERS, we find out later that they really appreciate the response. Not everyone loves that we have to call 911, but know that we cannot give hands-on care. And that's, to us, the best way to resolve the issue, to get somebody here, because it could be something bad. And if we don't, because you say, don't call 911, and something bad happens, it would be terrible for you, and we would feel terrible as well. But again, the scores are very high and very well received. Transportation, actually, this is something that's evolved over time. We used to have one driver part-time, Monday through Thursday. Now we have 2 drivers, now we have 3 drivers, and we do offer service on Friday. And I see this evolving as well, us being able to do more as time goes on, and we iron out this whole construction thing. So comments, I haven't used transportation. 2 weeks for notice is too long. This is a common sentiment I've seen year after year. I think we're gonna change this. Is Allison around? Oh my gosh, there she is. So we've talked about this, and I think with bringing this concierge on board is gonna help with the scheduling. I know many of you went to Pamela, and Pamela's wonderful, but she had a way of, this is the rule, this is how we've always done it, it's 2 weeks. We can change that, and we're gonna look to altering that, because it's very hard when your physician says you need to see a specialist and the only opening is this Thursday or next March, so a year from now. And we can be more flexible, and I think the concierge will be able to help schedule these drivers better. A wonderful service with excellent drivers. I have not used the PERS, and here's one for security. With all the outsiders on campus, I'm concerned about break-ins. I wanted to mention this one because many of you may be concerned. You see contractors here all over the place. Don't forget, swipe cards still get you in the door, and contractors are coming in. They are now coming in from the front door here because they're working on the Maloney Center, but for a while, they would only come in the back and they didn't have access to the rest of the campus. So we're very careful, not just with looking at our security cameras, but giving them access. Very few people that we trust are given the card, and they let their staff in. All the contractors that you see here, not all of them can get in the building. They don't have that access point. So I hope that makes you feel a little better, but we are very conscious of your safety. Construction, brand new one for this year. And this is just, we didn't know what to put, so we just threw some very basic ones. The scores look pretty good. Quality of communications is very high, thanks to Liesel. Cleanliness of areas is also very high. Lehigh has started bringing in a cleaning crew. So I saw a gentleman here the other day, I don't know, we were having fun with something and he walked by and I high-fived him. I thought he worked here, he didn't, he works for Lehigh. I thought maybe he's a new hire by Matt. He was actually here for Lehigh and he was vacuuming the stairs and the areas around the mailroom because they tracked in a lot of dust. So they're very conscious of it. Disruption level in your home and disruption level in common areas, these are lower because it is disruption. Nobody wants to live in construction, so hopefully it goes quickly, but those are the results. So some of the comments has gotten better with Liesl, so I'm starting to get annoyed. I was annoyed with Killian's positive responses. Liesl's getting just as many. So yeah, whatever guys. Find construction fascinating to watch and learn from. There's somebody, I don't even know if they're in here, I can't see them. I get pictures every week of what's going on in the South because of the enthusiasm. So if you take that approach that this is, there's energy, there's people here, and it's not just loud noise and dirt, that it is kind of an event, this is the person who made the most of it. Many changes, hard to keep track. Just the lack of our dining room. So I think this is just somebody saying it's difficult not having the dining room and moving everything in here. We appreciate your patience, but hopefully we're gonna be opening that up soon. Mud on street, driveways, garage, and house. Yes, construction is a dirty business, especially in spring, and it's only gonna get worse, so just bear with us. We'll do the best we can to keep it clean. Maintenance. Okay, so work order comments are again, steady, quality of service is steady. Upkeep of buildings dipped a little bit, appearance of grounds, snow removal. This one dropped a lot. And again, I think it's related to the very hard winter we've had. I've seen a 1 on a survey that was, again, the way it was written, it was, I don't know if it was very fair based on what we had in the moment of the survey, but I don't want to dismiss it and make an excuse. Matt does take it very seriously and how hard the guys work to clear the snow. We took care of it now by making it warmer out and making it rain a little bit, so you're welcome. And courtesy of staff is a very high score as well. So we may not be getting all the snow out, but the guys are really nice and you do appreciate their presence, so thank you for that. Comments, Matt and his staff are amazing, love the maintenance guys, they're helpful and patient. I realize there's a shortage in staff turnover, some employees listen better than others, remove cobwebs from doorways outside. So turnover is a thing. We don't have a turnover issue. I think each department takes turns. You remember back when dining didn't have enough servers and we couldn't open the dining room? Anyone in here? Not everyone's been here that long. It was very hard. And then our health center we're struggling to get PCAs, CNAs, and nurses. Now we're doing well there. Now it's maintenance's turn. There has been turnover, there's been retirements. And Matt has brought in people. I can tell you he had 2 people to work overnights and both of them changed their mind because they found a state job. So this is something we just have to deal with. And as you see these new faces, it takes them a little while to learn the process, to learn who you are, and to learn what their job duties are. So all of it takes time, but I think overall they're doing a pretty good job. Need to repaint hallways and replace carpets. I think we'll do more of that once the construction is done. It doesn't make sense to remove a lot of things now, knowing it's just gonna get dirty. And snow removal, need better service on weekends, remove Mount Rushmore. Unfortunately, with the amount of snow, we do have those giant mountains. I know there was one over here that Matt had a front loader brought in to knock it down because it was getting too obnoxious. So we do try to attack those. And you're right, we don't have as much staff here on weekends. Matt took this one personally, and he said at our staff meeting, I'm gonna reach out to our contractor that does the plowing and talk to them to let them know they didn't meet our expectations this winter. So we are moving on that one. Housekeeping, great scores. I think everyone loves the housekeepers. They're just so friendly and courteous, and they also do a good job. Some of the comments, can you hear me? Oh, there it is. Okay, some of the comments, personal staff, when high salt is used, there's more frequent cleaning. I know out here, they would mop and it would look very hazy. It didn't look great, so that we need to find another plan for that next winter. I love the staff, great service, and winter does make it difficult, and we need better cleaning efforts. So yeah, it didn't look great this winter, I admit that. Again, something we're gonna work on going forward. Dining services. Dining is always the toughest area because your meals are so personal. And Mark Hurley, if anyone remembers Mark Hurley, he used to joke that we would literally see comments, beans are too firm, beans are too soft, back to back. So, and it doesn't mean it was different each day, it was a different and personal taste. And I know all of you have a great meal here, but say, I could have made it better. And that's, it could be true. So we kind of take these with a grain of salt, but we look for those trends. And the trends are all fairly consistent. And dining, every score actually went up in the trend this year, except for quality of delivery service. And that's one that confuses me a little, but Lisa's going to investigate. I don't know if something's wrong with our delivery service. We'd love to get more feedback from you, but that's really the only one that dipped. Comments, need more healthful food, less processed. When baked potatoes are on the menu, they're never fully baked. Buffet entries are almost always lukewarm and not kept hot. This is good feedback. And fruit cups are fabulous, and this person loves the buffets. I encourage you, and this is something Lisa, it frustrates her because when we get a letter 2 weeks later that you didn't like a meal, we can't do anything about it. Tell us real time. Tell your server, tell the chef, my meal's lukewarm. Tell them, and then they will replace it. Or I don't like the portion, I don't like how you cook something. They will get you something different. Treat it like a restaurant. In a restaurant, you would send it back if you didn't like something. Here, I feel like, I don't know if it's a generational thing, you just take it, eat it, and then you let us know later, which is fine to hear about it, but we need to know real time so we can solve it real time. Would you recommend Fox Run to a friend? Of the 72 respondents, 2 were NA, I think they were brand new, 64 said yes, 2 said no. And this is where I step in, because I want to find out why it's no. And I talked to one person already, and it was a great conversation, and they've been here a long time, and it's been yes every year. And the sentiment was, right now it's no, because I wouldn't bring somebody in during construction, and I understand that, and it's good to get that feedback. There is someone else I haven't gotten to them yet this week. I wished it was earlier in the week before this presentation, but I'm going to meet with them personally to find out what they're feeling and why they said no, because we want to take it seriously. It doesn't mean a couple years ago, someone had said no, and I asked them and they said, well, they did bring someone in, but they didn't qualify and they were upset by it. So this is good feedback, because if there's something really systemically wrong, we want to fix it. Life overall Fox Run, again, consistent scores for the past 5 years. So let's look at the comments, and this is where we have our most input, or the most fun with the input. So what do you want to see over the next 2 to 5 years? Have enough parking after your expansion where residents live. So this is, the timing of parking this year was kind of brutal for us. We cut the parking lot, and then we had this crazy winter, and it was very difficult at first. Staff are no longer allowed to park in the commons. The management level staff, we can't even, I'm not even letting them park in the north lot, we're going to the alternate lot. So it's a bit of a far walk, but it's kind of nice. And so we tried to accommodate that, and as things settled down, we noticed the parking spaces came back. So whether it was the holidays with visitors, or snow covering spots, we feel like parking has opened up. But just know that when we're done with construction, they are reconfiguring some of the paints, some of the lines, and we should be able to have adequate parking. We were assured that by the engineers that planned all of this. Utilize the bar area with sport TVs more. Well, we're gonna have a brand new pub with a lot more space, so that's gonna be great. All-day coffee service. I'm thinking about this one, if we can do that. And everyone's heads are nodding up in the front. This is great. So that's something that we've seen in other communities, and I'm gonna talk to dining about. Additional license, and this is one I want to spend a minute with. Additional license to enable 24/7 nursing. And there were several comments. You should have a nurse here on the weekends. You should have a nurse here more. I want to remind everyone that Lori cannot treat you. We don't have a license to treat. And there's no license, there is a license to treat you 24/7. It's assisted living. In independent living, picture living in your own home or living in say a complex somewhere else, there isn't a nurse that treats. Lori goes above and beyond. She probably shouldn't, but when she tells me things, she tells me to plug my ears first. She cannot do hands-on care. Having access to Lori if you're not feeling well is wonderful. Lori is a special human being who just has a bedside manner that makes you feel comfortable. But to have someone here 24/7, if you slip and fall, or if you have you're not feeling well, we can't treat you, and it would be the same result. So even if there was a wellness nurse, they would call 911, similar to our maintenance, our security staff overnight do. So just keep that in mind. She does go above and beyond, but she cannot do hands-on care. And we can't have nurses come from the health center and walk over and treat you either, because it violates our license, and it could literally shut us down. We could get fined for it, and it would be a real problem. Okay, expand transportation services, more activities with the senior center. This one's a good one because Mary Lou from marketing has tried to connect with the senior center for the past 3 years, and they do not respond. They have a different director. We try to coordinate efforts. Our best coordination is with our best coordination with the senior center. Who's the resident? Barbara Lant. And she's done a great job of bridging that gap, but we have been unable to connect and get some of their programming here, but we're gonna keep trying. I don't need more, I'm happy. More areas to join with others outside. This will be accomplished with our construction. When it's done, we're gonna have more gathering space, not just inside, but outside. I'm thinking the courtyards in the south that we're creating, the new courtyards out of this wing here on both sides, the bocce side and the library side, and the pickleball court and the pavilion will be better gathering spaces. Massage therapy, PT on the independent side, the whole team left, so I mentioned Jessica was doing this on the independent side. We got special permission to do this during COVID. I'm going to look into getting special permission to continue it, to see if we can bring something, at least some form of programming back here, not just Matt, but maybe to do therapy services. I'm only telling you this now to be transparent, but also let you know they're probably going to say no. They only allowed it during COVID, but I will give that a try. We're happy with what we have now. Could Creative Arts conduct a survey to see what residents like? Great idea. I believe Allison and Jackie have done this over time, but we'll continue to do that to see, back to those scores, what you'd like to see going forward, and what we can actually accommodate during construction. Wine available for dinner. I've gotten this one a lot. Why can't we have wine at dinner? With the new pub, I'm gonna have to look at a new license, so I'm going to investigate to see if we can expand our license. They may not let us, it may stick with a club license, but maybe I can see if we can broaden the area a little, because they literally come in and have a map and said, you can only serve in that room there. We break the rules a little by allowing you to bring drinks out this way in the bistro, and maybe some of our special events. Even if we have a special event like the Christmas party, we have to apply for a special waiver for it. So hopefully we can expand that license. We're gonna look into that. More craft classes. I think once we have a new craft room, we'll be able to do more of that. Willing to listen and at least consider all of our needs and concerns. And I'd like to think that we do that. What are our strengths? Courtesy of staff, the people, residents, staff, community, willingness to offer help, food safety. This one on the bottom gave 3 in a row. Courtesy of staff, cleanliness, honest attempts at enrichment. And I like this one because we do make honest attempts to make things better. And it may not be exactly what you want, but we try. Oh geez, another Liesel one. I'm skipping that. The fact that there's a health center right here on campus, awareness to the needs of our residents, top qualified department heads, the tax implications, willingness to listen, and having healthcare on site are all strengths. Areas to improve. Have some more plain options in dining. I think you can always get other things. You can make special orders. I don't know whether we do a great job communicating that, but that's something we will work on. More amenities. This is what we're doing with this project, giving you more amenities and organizing them better. So hopefully we can accomplish that. Parking and snow clearing. It was a very tough winter. We'll look at how next winter, when it comes around, to see if we can do better. Administration doesn't always take advantage of the experts who live here. That's a good one. So we have tapped into some of your expertise, just not all of it, and we may not be aware of the expertise. So if you have some great ideas, we want to hear them. More vegetables, less sauces. Quilt needs to improve. Improve communication with residents. I think this is one of those things where I always thought we've done a great job, and then we need more, which is why we brought in Liesel, which is why we're going to bring on a concierge. Crowded parking, we already talked about that. Let's see, more food comments, and this last one. This one I found interesting. Honestly, consider resident suggestions. We have 100 more people coming, and certain areas are getting smaller. Library, woodshop, art gallery, greenhouse has been eliminated. We've spoken about concerns, but apparently it didn't matter. That one kind of hurts our feelings a little bit because it does matter. We want to, again, if the answer is no, it doesn't mean we don't care or we didn't try. So the library is actually going to be bigger, so that's not correct. The woodshop is getting smaller. We talked to the woodshop team, and I think, not naming all names, but I think Bob Nudi was one of it, and he's now taking the approach of, we're going to see if we can be more efficient and consolidate. So the woodshop team, the folks that use the woodshop, are really adapting and really doing a nice job of helping us out because it is coming in 5 feet, and it will be a little smaller for them. The art gallery is actually bigger as well. So 2 things on here are actually getting bigger even though it says smaller. Yes, the greenhouse has been eliminated. I know we talked about that a lot. I'd be happy to talk further. I believe I have a meeting this afternoon to talk about the greenhouse again. We didn't eliminate the greenhouse so staff have more space. We didn't eliminate the greenhouse because we need a boardroom. We did it for a variety of reasons. Number one, it never really worked the right way, and there are alternatives to using it. The pool has been working out very well. We enhanced that too because there's now a better water source. We can fill a can right in the pool area. By taking away the creative arts room, the community no longer has a multi-purpose room. And I'm thinking about a memorial service, a gathering we had for a resident who recently passed, and the family used it. With that room going away, we don't have that space anymore. So we decided to go upstairs where the greenhouse is and make a large space as a multi-purpose room for all of you to use. You can have your families there, you can do birthday parties. We are going to have board meetings in there as well because that's the only space we'll have, similar to the creative arts room. And it'll allow you, actually, bring people upstairs where we're located because we're not hiding away. We want it to be more welcoming. In fact, the doors to the offices upstairs were opaque. They were a solid door like this, and I had the Lehigh team change it. We're going to have the Roycroft stained glass doors now there so you can see inside, so it feels a little more welcoming. Those little changes to make it feel less cold. But that room upstairs is meant for all of you to add space for amenities because the creative arts room is going away. Yes? Yep. So the question is, we actually offer dinners. When Lisa does a special program, they'll do an event in that creative arts room. How do we get upstairs? Is it just a small elevator? So a few years back, we actually did do dinners upstairs when it was the card room and made an event. Yes, the dining staff will use the elevator to bring everything up. We do have the main staircase, and there's also the back staircase over by the mailroom, are different ways to get up there. And we're still going to use it for some of those things. So if we have board meetings up there, the board dinner is going to be up there as well. So yes, we're going to have to use those methods of access.
Bill,
Yes, Sue.
you mentioned the woodworking shop in Forever Young. They got a big plug on the cover and an article, 3 of the men written up, as well as Marion Cull and the Weaving Group.
Yes, so please take a look. Thank you, Sue. Take a look at the bulletin board. So they were featured on Forever Young, and you can see a picture of some of our folks that used the wood shop on there. It was really nicely done, and it was kind of cool to see. You know, I'm sure they'd see their faces on there. But thank you for bringing that up. So make sure you check that out. Focus in the coming year. What do you want us to focus on? Try to keep the expansion as non-intrusive as possible. We will do our best. Improvement of dining choices. Again, Lisa takes these all very personally. I think she's going to have her own survey out soon to see. It's funny, you can do this and you can ask for certain things, but in dining you have to keep doing it because new folks move in, tastes change, time of year changes. So yes, we'll do our best to try to improve some of the choices. Focus, some people say not sure. Good speakers, I miss them, we do too. I mean, you don't want to hear me speak every week. So once we have the event center open up, we'll have our speakers back. Keep the quality of life for folks who live here. This is a good one, actually. Keep the quality of life. That was the one thing I said before we started this project. It's so important to us that we maintain the culture that we have here. You've made something special here that we're lucky we get to work in. And when we infuse new folks in, we want to be careful that we do it the right way, that the culture doesn't change, or we don't start with cliques or people who they don't want to blend. You do a great job of welcoming everyone to make them part of your culture. So we're going to try our best to keep that quality of life. Complete construction, yes, I can't wait for that. Reduce staff turnover. I don't know that we have a lot. I think we have a natural amount. But yes, staff turnover is something we always worry about. Get rid of construction and meetings. When it's done, we'll get rid of construction in these meetings, I promise. Less green beans. I left this one on here in honor of Mark Early. And I love green beans. I don't know, I'm just saying. Continue communication about changes. Again, we've already added one piece, and the concierge should help us with that. Smooth transit. All these are construction related. Let's see, what do you like best about living in Fox Run? The friendliness of staff, peace of mind, great place to be at this time of my life. Things that are done well, support and advice after hospital emergencies, wonderful staff, feeling safe, everything. These are nice ones. Friendship of residents and staff, the communications higher, the way construction changes are being accommodated. So I like this one because we're trying to celebrate the little pieces and keep you in the loop. So once the dining room's open, we're going to celebrate the dining room. When the fitness center's done, we're going to celebrate that. General quality of life, the summer gardens and landscape. No worry about my future. I'm very content in the level of safety and the ability to live the life I choose. That's a commercial line right there. We should use that for marketing. Comforting to know that all my needs are met. It's been wonderful. Oh, geez, it's been wonderful having Killian's expertise. Access to rehab for skilled nursing for a spouse. Really, I think a lot of you came here for the life care, and having that health center close by, especially if you're a couple or even if you're an individual, your friends can come visit. It's just nice having you connected, and this is what we're here for. Making friends, playing cards, summer concerts. We're adding, can I say this? We're adding another summer concert this year. We're going to go with 4. We tried that years ago, and it was okay, but with what we're putting you through, we thought it'd be nice to bring another one, and I think the 4th one's going to be pretty special, so stay tuned. Exercise classes with Matt. Matt's just been wonderful for us. Food, activities, services, peace of mind that comes with living at Fox Run. So that was a very long-winded presentation. I apologize for how long it took, but my purpose is to let you know how seriously we take this. Even though only 72 people responded, I think it gives us a good cross-section of what we need to work on, or at least tells us what we're doing well, reinforces, makes us feel good. But there are some things that we're going to address. We're not afraid to share the bad things. This goes out occasionally. We're not afraid to share the bad things because it's transparency and we want to make it better. So are there any questions? Sue?
I am very strongly concerned about outdoor security at night. I am one of 2 people who had their cars stolen in the fall.
Mm-hmm.
Wonderful camera system, but if nobody's watching the cameras in the middle of the night, then the cameras, yes, you can go back and check them. Also, on days of Bills games, the number of people that are parking in our lots on Bills games, some way security needs to be beefed up on those games.
Okay, so there's 2 parts there. The first one is outdoor security at night. We do have cameras. We did have 2 cars stolen, and this is not a Fox Run thing. This is a South Towns thing. What we're told by the police department is there's some youthful offenders that are moving out of Cheektowaga specifically and the city of Buffalo, and they're finding places like Fox Run where they can break into a car. There's certain car types that are easy to break into and steal, and that's what they're targeting. The fact that we have cameras even if we saw them in the middle of it, we're not going to send someone out at their own peril to say, hey, you, stop, security. Because it,
911.
because, right, they can't call 911. But know that the cameras are catching the people and their license plate, but they're using stolen cars. So I'm not making excuses, but this is the reality of what's been happening all over Western New York. And the best thing we can do is have you help yourself and lock your vehicles. Because from watching the camera, the vehicles they stole were unlocked.
No, mine was not unlocked.
So we can talk about this later. So from what we've seen from the camera, they got into it pretty easily. And it's the car type. So having extra maintenance people overnight, it could help. And Matt's trying to hire more overnight people, but I think this is just one of those things that I live in the country outside of East Aurora, and I'm now locking my vehicle too because it's happening there too. Folks who live on a rural road are getting their cars broken into because this is where society is with this group of people. So we do tell the police and they do investigate. I know the first time this happened a couple of years ago where somebody had to break in and they did find the people. And they found it because we were able to help with the cameras and somebody got out of their camera and relieved themselves by a dumpster and we were able to find out who it was and where they went and the police caught them. So we do the best we can. I apologize that the cars were stolen. I don't know how to help other than to have a gate and lock it, and we don't want that either. The other thing is Bill's Games. Now Bill's Games, the folks that park here, we have signage up and we've asked the sheriff that's been parked out here during the games to stay there. And they have been here every Bills game. I come here personally to make sure the sign is up every game that says private property will be towed. I've actually stopped people and said, you can't park here. It doesn't happen often. The folks I stop have a family member here. So the people that are parking here know somebody here, and it's your children, grandchildren, they're parking in the commons. It does add a little more volume, but they're people who know the campus and are allowed to actually be here. What I've tried to put a stop to is the folks, what we found a couple years ago is they're using the California Road entrance as an Uber stop.
Yes.
So people lined up, I went out there one day and I kicked out about 5 people, and now our signage is up there, and we're gonna improve the signage next year to say this is not a drop-off. So what they're doing now is they're using California Road as their drop-off. So I think the presence was lower this season than it was the prior season, but again, we'll continue to work on that, Sue, and do the best we can to reduce the number of people here on campus. Yes, Janice.
I may be, well, living in a place, but I know you can't hear me.
I'll repeat it. I'll repeat what Janice is saying.
The other night, a new maintenance man after dinner brought up a package for me. And I get that done regularly because a lot of my packages I can't carry.
Okay.
But he was a new guy. And I'm wondering if you guys could start putting information, new people on the bulletin board in a picture.
Okay, so Janice's suggestion was she had a package delivered in the evening and it was a brand new maintenance person. And this is common, it depends on the package, and but she had never seen the person before, and I can see it's a little unnerving, you see a new face. So I don't, that's a good idea. If we can, let me talk to Pierre, our HR director, and Matt to see if we can do something to let you know that, I mean, the hope is they're wearing a shirt that says Fox Run with a name tag.
Well, that's good too,
But it'd be nice to know, and that's a good point. So let me follow up with that one.
don't you have a bulletin board over there, like from staff?
So, and it's a little tricky to have everyone new, but I think maintenance specifically, we can probably do. Okay. Yeah, I'll follow up on that one. Yes?
Concerning the security in the parking lot. At the park lane in the city, the Main Street divides 2 kinds of living conditions.
Mm-hmm.
And people from the east side start to walk across at night, and we ended up actually having an elderly member of our community at Park Run held up at gunpoint.
Ooh.
It started with
Sure.
We also put in cameras, but on our farm, we have every building is wired with cameras, and everything goes into the police station in Eden. And they take about 3 minutes to get there.
Okay.
They've always been outstanding. But the thing is, there are all kinds of, we use Sonatrol, but now that's in Toronto, and I'm not really happy with it
Mhm.
exactly. You can get any number of security systems that will immediately alert police,
Mm-hmm.
so that you don't need a cop here, and you don't need to hire another person.
Mhm.
You can get attention right away.
Okay.
And there are also lots of cameras that are fakers, but they blink.
Yep.
There's a lot of solutions.
So, we're getting some great suggestions on solutions for security, on types of cameras and having a direct link to the police department. We're gonna look into that to see what we can do with Orchard Park. But one thing I wanna add is I talked to our IT consultant who's installed our cameras, and we probably have 20 new ones that are going to be installed. So we're gonna see more in the hallways. You're gonna see more at every entrance and some of the man doors, so we'll at least have coverage. But just remember, the best security we have here is to keep those doors locked and to not let people in. So if you have, they say, hey, let me in. I've seen on camera a resident say, I'm not letting you in until you tell me who you are, and I love that. But I've also seen where they hit the button because they're nice people, and now you have a salesman going door to door knocking. This happened a few years ago. So just be aware that everything is locked except for the main entrance from 8 to 8. You cannot get in without this. So it is it Fort Knox? Is it a government agency secure? It's not, but it's very secure. And again, something we can broaden with more cameras. And I do like the idea, I'll check with the police department to see if we can do something. I'm sure they're gonna say, yeah, every business is gonna wanna do that now. But if there's a way to get them here quicker, right now what we do have though is if somebody gets in and an alarm goes off on one of these doors, maintenance does respond and they can call 911 quickly. So it's not a perfect way to do it, but it's the best we have right now, but a great suggestion, thank you. Yes, Alona.
In regard to the visitors using the parking lot for football games,
Mhm.
I have had them, however, I get a ticket out front.
Thank you
to
for that.
put in the window of the car. And if you don't do that as a resident, it's your fault. Unless you have family who doesn't tell you they're coming to a football.
So
game.
Alona's-
I find that difficult.
Alona's point is great. We do have the fluorescent green cars that go, so we know, you tell us if somebody is leaving their car here, you have a relative staying, so we keep track of it. If there are suspicious cars, we've had cars towed here before to the chagrin of some of our residents because we didn't know who they were. So we are on top of it as best as we can. But if you do have somebody for a Bills game, get that green card and put it in your window. I have one for when I park here for Bills games. We have board members who call and ask me permission to park here, and I say, stop at the front desk, I'll have a tag waiting for you. So we know who they are, and then if there is a suspicious one, we will investigate it. So thank you, Alona, for reminding me of that. Yes?
As a newbie, I didn't know that you even had that procedure.
And
How do you find those things out?
so that's my fault. So that there, you just pointed out a flaw in communication that we need to work on. So the point is, we have a newbie, self-proclaimed newbie, that had no idea we did that. And this is where you get caught up in the day-to-day. You think, well, this is our process, we've always done this. But we have 25 new people moving in every year that they don't know that. So thank you for that. We will do a better job to make sure going forward we let everyone know. And maybe we'll do a reminder every month to remind people that this is the process. So thank you for pointing that out. Yes?
This is not the, I say it's not to do this much.
Mm-hmm.
There are, should I say, contractors that come in here to redo a room,
Yes.
and since I've been here 6 years, every year there's a mess in the downchute where you put your garbage. There's
Yes.
people who come out of a room, look at these contractors or whatever they're doing. And there's one right now on the second floor that you can track, where they come out of the room, down the hall on the rug, into the elevator, downstairs,
I'm getting frustrated now. Thank you for sharing this.
Tell these people to clean up after.
You are 100% correct. So the point is, we have different, not the contractors for new construction, but when we do apartment turnovers, we have contractors that come here all the time. Mostly it's the same father-son, but there are others that we may need. And what I'm hearing is they're using up the trash room. They shouldn't be doing that. They should be putting whatever their spoils are into a truck and taking it away. And they're leaving footprints that you can track. So I'm gonna talk to Matt about that, and we're gonna put a stop to that. And I do wanna hear if you keep seeing that, because that's something I was unaware of, and it shouldn't, this is your home. You know, it shouldn't be. Yes?
Speaking of trash, this has bugged me for months. And I get so mad about it, I don't write because I won't. Do you remember Skunk, the skunk named Flower? Who said, if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all. So then I don't say anything. But outside of this building, which is taking a lot of care to do a beautiful job inside, there's all kinds of junk on the ground. I wish one person could clean it all up in an hour.
Mm-hmm.
I wish they would take someone to do that.
So-
Not one of our men.
So and this is another great point, that we do a nice job of keeping things clean inside, but if you walk outside, I know I've reported to Matt that when they did the roofing of the dining room expansion, there was roofing paper and some pink foam that just blew off, and it's sitting in the corner where the wind took it. We will clean that up, and yes, that's a great suggestion. Matt actually reached out to Lehigh and said, you need to get a team. He was really mad at the windstorm, said you need to get a team out here to clean up, and they were like, what did we do? So he pointed out some things. They did clean it up, apparently not a good enough job, so.
Oh, it's terrible, and there's a thaw right now.
Right, and so these things are appearing that we may not have seen because of the snow. We do a campus cleanup day where we volunteer a staff to come and clean it up. I think we're gonna try to bring that back. Allison's writing it down right now. But yes, we should also get those contractors. If they're making a mess, and I did point out they're doing a nice job cleaning and vacuuming, the guy high-fived, so I will tell, I have a really good connection with the owner of Lehigh since we started this project. I'll tell him personally, can you send a crew out here to clean up? So thank you for that suggestion.
What about the pond? There's stuff that's blown in there.
Yeah, and the pond, the old pond looks terrible. I think it's fenced off, so we don't wanna go in there. We're gonna wait until they're done, and the hope is that they clean it up. I know it's really ugly, I apologize for that. I think that's just part of the process of construction, but we'll clean that up. Any other questions? Yes?
The cars routinely park in front of the no parking sign, and they stay there for quite a while.
Are you talking at the north?
North, yes.
Okay. I know we had a problem recently with the Allstate people where they were testing and were doing some work, and what they did was they parked, unloaded, and then worked for a few hours. So Matt yelled at them, but it sounds like it's still happening.
Well, what the problem is when an ambulance comes and they see that, it parks like
100%, yes.
and stops.
The space outside is meant for pickup and drop off, but mostly emergency vehicles. So we talk about snow removal where we want to clear a spot for emergency vehicles, and it's a similar concept. If cars are there, we can't get those in, even if there's no snow. So that's great feedback, and I'll ask Matt to keep a watchful eye, all of us as directors, when we drive by to see if someone's stuck there. And we want to hear from you. If somebody's been there for a while, don't hesitate to call the front desk. When we have a concierge or anyone, even reception, they can't sit there, and that's a great point. So thank you for that. Okay, well, this has been quite a meeting. It's taken some time. I appreciate your patience. I hope you got something out of this. My hope is that you understand that we take the survey seriously, and we don't just do what we think is best, we do what we hope that you think is best. So thank you for your time, and happy Friday.